107.5 WGCI, the Shaw's #1 for hip hop and R&B. We are the morning show with Leon Rogers, the beautiful Kendra G, shortest damn man in Chicago, Kyle. It's been a lot of buzz in the building lately. Somebody on the show is in the movie coming out real soon.
I'm in my first ever movie. But listen, there's a lot of bigger, way bigger stars.
Calm
in this
down,
movie.
fellas. It's not a news scene. She has all her
Shut
clothes
up, Leon. I would never do
put
that.
out there.
I would never do that. But
So let's get to the business of it. The name of the movie is Canal Street.
It's called Canal Street. I want to talk about the people that people are going to really go to see, like Bryce Gray, who plays Hakeem on Empire.
Yep.
You also have Woody McClain, who plays Bobby Brown on all the BET shows, Mekhi Phifer.
Yes,
And I don't want to say his name wrong.
Michael
Yes.
Michael T.
And the person you just heard, that's the director, Ryan Lamar in the studio.
Yeah.
Right. So let's introduce everybody in the studio. You just said that the director, producer, co-writer, Ryan Lamar is in the studio. Good to see you again, brother.
Good to see you, man.
And we also have the Grammy Award-winning, I've been told.
Say that.
Executive producer and music supervisor Amir Wyndham is here as well.
Good morning,
man. How you
Good
doing?
morning, Chi-Town.
Yeah, so you guys made this movie happen, huh?
Kyle, with Amir real quick, I mean, he's a part of a little song called Happy with Pharrell. You know,
Yeah,
you ever
just
heard
a
that?
liting song.
Just a little song,
Little
Happy.
song called Happy.
Y'all bringing up old stuff.
Had people in other countries that couldn't speak English singing in English.
We have a third person, too, that will also be talking in this conversation, Kyle.
Oh, come on in, brother.
Captain Swag, the Bishop, baby.
Introduce yourself. I didn't know you were getting involved.
Okay, Ryan, introduce him because he's
This
acting
is
shy.
this is Bishop Eric Garnes, one of our executive producers, CEO of Red Gorilla. He is not a humble shy man in the building.
Swagged out.
Yeah, he's trying to
Most
have
swagged,
fun now, right?
most swagged out Bishop I never seen. I seen him last night and was like, hey man, buddy got so much style.
I was just
need to holler
complimenting
at
his
him,
shoes.
man.
Lee.
Yeah,
You see his
he's got
shoes?
me.
Yes.
Listen.
See what he's doing.
But you know what? We named some names, but really, Canal Street is about Chicago. It's a movie that's going to be in theaters this weekend. It was filmed right here in Chicago, which means everybody in the city needs to go out and check it out. But Ryan, you talk more about your movie.
Man, look, man, I'm just blessed to be here. First of all, I grew up listening to GCI, so the fact that I'm in the building now with a movie, man, is amazing.
That's what's up.
You know, Canal Street is a love letter to Chicago. With so much going on in the world today, I wanted to shine a positive light on our city. For once, I mean, y'all know what's going on out here. Go ahead.
No, I was going to ask you. You said being from Chicago, everybody always wants to know what neighborhood. Where you from in the city?
So I'm gonna keep it real to all my Chicagoans, 83rd and Ingleside, and Park Ridge.
Okay.
And I'm gonna say it that way because Pops lived on the South Side, Mom stayed in the suburbs, and so I had to split. So that's why I got the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
But that also diversified me. Growing up, and that's how you get films like Canal Street. So you can tell all sides, of the coin, and that's what the film is about. It's about the diversity in Chicago. It's about America, and it's about coming together to talk about our differences, to maybe find a positive solution.
Give the synopsis of the movie without giving it away, because I might say too much and I give the movie away. So Ryan, if someone's listening,
We
they
on
want to
Facebook
know,
Live.
what is Canal Street about? Like, give the synopsis of the storyline.
Absolutely. So it's about a kid from the south side of Chicago that moves to the suburbs, ends up befriending one of the school jocks. They get into a little bit of a tussle. The next day, that kid ends up missing. They find that kid dead. They actually pin the murder on that kid from the south side of Chicago. His father's an attorney, played by Michael T. Williamson, and he ends up taking the case. And the prosecutor of that case is actually running for mayor as well, played by Mekhi Phifer. So it ends up being not only this trial in the city that's getting all this national attention, but it also becomes one of the biggest, law cases in America in the 20th century for America.
And it sounds like the plot is almost playing on the stereotype of, the kid from the city must have did it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yo, Ryan, so upon seeing the movie last night, man, wonderful job, first of all. I know you've been hearing that. But since all three of you all in the room, me and my wife were talking about the movie all the way back to the house. And I came up with this thing, 3 S's, and I want y'all to speak on it. Story, spirituality, and song. And it created a synergy. And I just use that word all the time because they all three mesh together. How tough was that? Man, we could start with you, putting a song to such a riveting story, and then Bishop, I want you to come in and talk about the spirituality of the movie.
Yeah, the music that we created for this was challenging. I'm gonna say challenging because in this society, man, it's a lot of music that to me is enriching to the soul. And so now what we're trying to do, what we said we were gonna do, was make music that sounds like your current, popular music, the trap rap feel, the pop feel, but we wanted to create content that sounded similar to these chart performing songs, but they had soulful messages behind it. And this is the project to do that. I think there's enough music out here that I'm sure a lot of us wouldn't let our kids listen to. And we said we need to create something that's going to make people feel good. And so ironically, when Ryan and I met, that's where I was musically anyway, working with artists like Pharrell and Bruno Mars. We try to make music that makes you feel good. So this project was kind of a perfect marriage between that, because I just think, music is definitely something that has, especially current day, has gotten kind of away from, the positive aspect of it. And I think our soundtrack absolutely creates that. So matching that with Ryan's vision was challenging, but it brought out the best in me as well.
Dope. Oh, wow. Canal Street. When can everybody else...
Wait, we got to hear the spiritual
spiritual
part of it.
part.
Yes,
That's
because... Kyle, why do you keep forgetting?
The devil
about
working
man?
right
I
now,
know.
Kyle.
Don't worry.
The devil's working in here.
I want the spirit. Let's hear it.
The faith part is the spiritual part. Our faith is laced into the film, whereas we get the opportunity to preach in a way that most people don't get to see. The preachment comes usually to people by traditional, being in the church, sitting in the pew, hearing a person stand up in front of a pulpit. This gives us the opportunity not to be preachy, but to just get a message across about Christ. And the message can be put in a position where most people don't go, and that is the movies. They don't expect to see that in the movie. And it's carefully laced where it's not pressed on you. It's just put into the movie so you can feel your presence.
Hiding the medicine in the food, like Mama used to do.
There you go.
Now, this is a real preacher right here, Leon. You got that preacher voice. You wake up.
You don't get better.
There you go. Just keep on eating the food. So the idea of prayer and faith is in there because the issues of life is all laced throughout the film. And when people see the film, they're going to understand the necessity of prayer. To get through what you need to do and what you go through in life, faith is a necessity about building it up. Faith coming by hearing the word of God. The more he hears God's word coming through by different people in different directions, this gentleman makes his way through the challenge.
What you hitting on the bench, Bishop? You look like you kind of the bench game, like, man. I tell you, he hit me kind of hard too. I felt that.
So with that being said, as far as some of the things that the movie is portraying, I feel like I'm the only one in this room right now who hasn't seen it.
You are.
Yeah.
Yep.
So what is it that you would say to somebody like myself who hasn't seen it yet? When you go to the movie, I want you to walk away with this feeling, this experience, this mindset. What would any of you guys say to a person like me?
Girl, there's girls here too. Guys and girls.
Guys and girls.
Yes. You know we live in a politically correct time in the world.
When I say you guys, that means guys and girls.
Well, I'm not a guy
Let's
though.
go.
See, look.
Well, it's 2018.
Don't forget about the days.
I don't know.
Don't forget about the days.
No, but what would you guys want the person that hasn't seen it, when they're walking into it, what do you want them to take away from it?
One of the most important things we want people to walk away with is the idea of conversation and understand that everyone can have an opinion in this world, but it's okay to have that opinion, but it's also important for us to listen. We don't always have to have the conclusion, but we can have a conversation that can lead us to understand why people either think the way they do, why some of the conditions we are in are the way they are. Whether you agree with me or not, we can get to that point later. At least we can converse about where and what direction we need to start walking toward. We want folks to understand this is a family-oriented movie. So the children get their part. The adults get their part. Our mid-adults, our teenagers, everyone can pick out the various issues from teen pregnancy to gun violence to the justice system. It's all laced into the theater.
Nice. I like it. You want to add?
I can't say nothing better than that.
One thing I will say is Chicago, this is your movie. Like, it's going to be everywhere, but this is Chicago's movie. Like, when you go to theater, you're going to see places that you look familiar to you because it was filmed right here in Chicago. It's about Chicago. Yeah. So there's no reason why you shouldn't. And you can bring your children because it's not rated R.
That's correct.
You did a great job
PG-13.
making it PG-13.
Yeah.
There's no swearing, but you won't even realize that. It's such a family Go see the movie. It's a
You know-
family-oriented movie. Go see it.
And piggybacking what Kendra said, I think what makes the movie so dope too, because all through the movie you see people you know. Not that you know on a personal level, but you hear their voices on the radio. Like you see Kendra in the movie, you hear her voice. You can put a voice, Charlamagne the God. You see these different radio shows, Ricky Smiley. You see a bunch of people on the shows. And I also like the fact that you made characters that everybody can connect with. Feel sorry for, feel mad against, then turn around and have a different feeling about that same person. So that it's amazing, man. Listen, I came in just like, okay, here we go. One of these, cliches, South Side boy goes to the suburbs, gets to a fight. But I left talking about a movie all the way on the ride home, and I live out in South Holland, so it was 45 minutes of just talking about the movie.
And that's what we want, man. We want you to lead a theater, and we want this film to open up discussion and conversation. One of the things when we were talking with our actors, and I won't give too much away, but it was like there's no villains. Everybody has a story. What does it look like? It's so easy to do good guy, bad guy. You know what I mean? But why is that guy bad? Let's go home with him, like Makai's character. Let's see who he is. Let's unpack that so we can understand each other. And that was the biggest thing, and that's why getting, Kendra, like you were saying, and Charlamagne, and also from the social media side, like Day Storm and Don Benjamin, and like just these people who you see and hear on a daily basis, because that's how you get the conversation going. And for me, that was like, the sauce that made everything work.
Good stuff.
Yeah. Well, let's get to the most important part, man. You guys have seen it. I have not. How can everybody listening right now? When can we go see the movie? Where can we go see the movie?
So the movie comes out this Friday. That is January 18th, Martin Luther King weekend. Go to canalstreetmovie.com and find your local theater in your area.
There it is.
We will be in the city of Chicago. We come out on the 18th. Go support. Support independent film. Support Chicago.
Please, man.
Right.
We need some positivity in Chicago.
Go pay to see it. Hey, all my guys out there that be falling through the barbershops, man. Don't have no copies of Canal Street, man. Go see the movie. Please, man.
And shout out to Hyde Park Barbershop, man, for blessing us on the film, man. They came and supported in a major way. You'll see them in the movie. Just Chicago really came to support this movie in a major way. And we couldn't have done the film without the people of Chicago supporting and lending their time and their talents and their platforms. We couldn't have done this without Chicago.
Well, congratulations to you all. Make sure you guys get out there this weekend to see the movie. CanalStreet.com.
CanalStreetMovie.com.
CanalStreetMovie.com. We want to thank you guys for being here. Congratulations, Kendra, on being in the movie.
You.
Congratulations, Ryan. Congratulations, Bishop. Congratulations, Amir. Congratulations to everybody, man.
Canal Street, starring Kendra G as Kendra G.
All right, man. Y'all have a great time with it, man. WGCI.